Welcome to another episode of What's Inside the Mind of This Crazy Mexican Guy. That's as good as it gets. No, we're going to talk about today a lot of you guys, and whether it's in English or Spanish, I know a lot of you guys want to start investing and have no fucking idea of where to start, how to structure it, or anything. And I've talked about like what I'm building, the positions I'm building, and that's kind of like already happening. So I'm opening another portfolio. I'm only saying the number for you to have a relative number to what I'm doing. Does that make sense? I'm not saying the number so you feel like I'm fronting on you or maybe that it's too little. Whatever it is, I don't give a fuck. It's just a reference for you. So I'm putting $250,000 in a new portfolio. I'm starting this one from zero, and let's just treat it as a different thing. Don't worry about it. I'm not selling you anything. I'm not telling you to buy something that's going to make me get more money. Like, there's no conflict of interest whatsoever. There's only the conflict of boredom. This is why I'm doing this. That's it. It's the only thing I want to share with you guys. I already talked to you guys about my investments. I already talked to you guys about what I'm planning on investing in. And I already also told you that I believe the market's going to take a massive shit also very soon. So, well, not very soon, within the next 6 months. So I've been really patient. I've my bags ready for whenever I need to deploy, and I've already deployed on the first thing that I bought. And I want to make sure that we're all on the same page on this one so that you guys don't get fucked. I'm going to keep it super simple so you don't have to know any technicalities. And number one, we got to know what's our goal with investing. My goal for this portfolio is for it to achieve close to a 10x in the next 5 to 8 years. That's my minimum. That's what I'm looking for. So I need to put myself in those plays that will 10x my money. So 250, these portfolios should be worth $2.5 million in 5 to 8 years. All right. And I'm not in a rush. I'm not going to sell if it goes down. You need to be balls of steel. And you also need to know all the money you're investing, dude, count it as lost. That's the only way of doing this. You can never afford to buy into the stock market or buy any shares, stocks, cryptos, or anything you want to buy and then say, well, but I need the money by next year. Otherwise, because whenever you do that, guess what's going to happen? The fucking worst time ever to sell your stock, your shares, is going to be exactly when you need that money. So don't do it. If you can watch any sort of money just sit for 8 years, this is for you. If you just want to get rich tomorrow, go buy Bitcoin and XRP and Ripple and all those things. You'll be super rich according to everyone. So do those things if you want to become super rich tomorrow. I'm not saying it's going to work out, but that's what everyone says. So everyone can be wrong. All right. Now that we set up a goal and we set up a timeline, I want you to know that I'm going to invest in this portfolio. I'm going to take the same positions that I will or am in the other ones. Okay. And that means that my theory, my thesis, as if I thought of anything, my thesis will remain the same right now. So the first opportunity on the market, so that I don't get you all tangled up and like completely going crazy. I'm sorry, I just shaved my mustache and I have hairs going into my nose and it's fucking driving me crazy. All right. Are you sure you want to listen to this guy? Really? That's probably what everyone around you is saying. All right. So what is the one thing I'm going to invest in? It's called Lucid Motors, ladies and gentlemen. And the reason why I'm going to start, and I started my position already in Lucid Motors, which is a car company you guys are familiar with, electric cars. It's an American company invested by the Saudis and all these things, that has done absolutely terrible over time. But now what calls my attention, and to me, it's very simple, by the way. I know a lot of people look at PE and GE and MECE and DD and all these fucking things. That's awesome. Must be awesome. To me, what really works is just simple things, right? I get in a Model X in Tesla. I see the self-driving thing 10 years ago, and I'm like, oh, huh, this is something, right? And now I'm seeing the evolution of Lucid. And the reason why I like it is I've always despised the fact that they had Peter Rowland as their CEO. He was one of the most incompetent beings on earth, and he was very ego driven and not really just working for what they needed to do. And that means kind of like Fisker. Fisker is a good for nothing man. God bless him. No judgment. God damn it. Fisker was a good for nothing CEO. It's his ego. He wants to be the man. He doesn't want anyone on top of him. He doesn't want anyone running shit. He doesn't know how to do that. He's a great car designer, but he's a moron when it comes to handling a business, right? So when Fisker announced, hey, I'm going to launch my car company and I'm going to launch these shares and stock, I told everyone I could please stay the fuck away from it. How are we doing right now? And now there are podcasts, for example, that have very respectable business people in it that bought Fiskers out loud and were like showing it to people along with stock from Fisker, which it's mind-boggling. These are adults. These are adult people that saw Henrik Fisker fuck people over once, twice, 3, 4 times and decided, you know what's cool? That. I'm going to get in that. So we're not doing that. And the same thing for me in Lucid. By the way, we already did this. We bought Tesla at the lowest last year. We bought Lucid at the lowest last year, and we bought Rivian at the lowest last year, and we sold everything on the pops, right? Then I opened in another portfolio, other positions this April when everything went to shit, because that was insanely good prices for everything. So now I'm looking at Lucid. And the reason why Lucid and not Tesla or Rivian is because of the specific situation that Lucid is in right now, which is their stock price has gone down so fucking hard that everyone that has purchased Lucid in the past 5 years, it's on a loss. That's the first thing I like. Now, if you're going to do this, you need to understand this is a very high risk bet. I'm only using 8% of my portfolio, $20,000 into this position, right? Because I feel like this is the easiest way of getting to multiply your money a lot. So if you're familiar with Bitcoin, with Ethereum, with Solana, the way I look at the car world is Tesla is Bitcoin, Rivian is Solana, and Lucid is literally XRP or some crazy shit that makes no sense whatsoever. So it's very risky. No. I'm going to take it back. Tesla is Bitcoin. Fucking idiot. Rivian is Ethereum. And then Lucid is Solana. That's what I'm going to put it because I like Solana. And now I like Lucid. And now their cars are really they're really nice. They don't have all the technology that other car makers have, but they are, however, in battery technology and other aspects, like leading guys in that, right? They're a great company at that. Now, it's very important to understand that with what we're buying right now, if everything goes wrong, I'm down to let it ride to zero. This is my riskiest bet on the portfolio right now, and I'm starting with that. So you guys need to know that. Right? That means Lucid can go bankrupt, kind of like Fisker, and then everyone can go suck a dick. The reason why I don't think that's going to be the case, and the reason why I'm buying it, is because I see Lucid as something very cheap. The whole company as a whole, and I'm going to look at my chart right now. We're actually going to look at my chart together. How about that? Don't worry, it's not going to get technical. It's very simple. This is Lucid right now, right? So I'm going to do a monthly chart so you guys can have a good perspective. It went up all the way to here, and now it's 97% down. So if you bought anywhere here, you're fucked. Anywhere until the last candle right here. You're absolutely underwater. Me and whoever has been following my trade, because I did this in Spanish before, I'm sorry, but I figured I need to do this because I also need to talk about the housing market and all that stuff, and I'll do that on tomorrow's video, not today. It's very important. But if we're looking just at this chart, we're only looking at the last candle, and I'm going to show you why. The yellow line, let me see. Are you guys seeing it? Yeah. Okay. So the yellow line right here, that's going like the dotted yellow line, that's basically the bottom where if anyone bought above this, he's fucked. We bought this all the way down. Okay. And the price of Lucid, it's very important to know this. They were basically selling stock or shares at $2. This is the $2 mark, basically, the dotted line. And then they did a reverse split. That means that 10 shares became one. So if it was $2 times 10, now the shares were $20. That means this line used to be $2 and now it's $20, right? Same thing. Right now, Lucid is at $18.48. So from the valuation before perspective, the way that the stock was valued was $1.84, right? So it's down. It's down. And it got to $15. And I know that because I bought the fuck out of it down here. I only have 25% of my money to throw back in here. But I'm not going to do it where it's at. I'm going to do it once it comes down again if it does. And now, what if it tomorrow just wakes up and it's at $42? You know what? I'm going to grab those extra $5,000 and put them in something else that's risky. So I'm going to be patient with this, right? So number one, my 8% of my portfolio is going into this. What am I looking at and why is this not going to go bankrupt? One, the value as is of the company today is $5.67 billion. $5.67 billion. Rivian at its bottom got to like 8-9 billion and it was so cheap it made no sense. This thing is so cheap already, doesn't make any sense. Like, I know people that can buy this. That's how stupidly cheap it is. And you'll say, well, get the fuck out of it. I swear to God, it's really that easy. Now think about it like this. Apple put $10 billion, $10 billion with a B of boy penis. $10 billion into creating a car, an electric car that never panned out. That means Apple wrote off $10 billion investing in this shit, right? Because they couldn't do it. Well, guess what? Lucid has gotten rid of Peter Rowland, the CEO, thank God, brought some guy in. They're they're producing more cars. They're delivering more cars. They're putting money into marketing, and the Saudis ain't going to let this puppy die. They're not. I'm basing all of my thesis on that. The company's too cheap. The Saudis are never going to let it down, and they're increasing their production volume. And especially now, they're going to have an incredible month, just like every other EV company, simply based on the fact that, the EV credit is finishing on September 30th, so we got to buy the cars now. So Tesla's, for example, a Model Y, because I've been looking, I don't know why I like it so much. The Model Y from Tesla, you could get the same day you ordered, basically, months for your delivery to come. So that means there's really a massive amount of people that were thinking, I'm going to wait until prices drop that are buying the cars now because they were told the prices are going to go up. And the same thing happening in the regular cars and all that stuff and the watch market and all this shit. So we're following the trend. I'm not saying something new. But Lucid, my friends, he's going to absolute dog shit right now. And what am I looking at? Just because we're here, and this is a monthly candle, by the way, that means in 22 days, this is going to end. But let's go into a weekly one, right? So last week, one second. So last week, we saw Lucid come down here. And now this week, we're trying to do better. Normally, this type of candle signals a bottom. There's this is a bullish divergence right here, right? That means that's positive for the price. Am I counting on that? Nah, I don't give a fuck. I want this to go lower. This is why it's irrelevant if you know technical analysis or not. So the bottom price that you could purchase Lucid at was about $15.24, give or take, right? You know what? I'm going to tell you the actual number. Low, $15.25. So now, am I going to buy right now at 18? If I don't have a position built already, I would split my position in 4, and I would do where it's at right now. I would do 1. I would do at the bottom of this candle at 1770 another one. I would wait for and then this is where you're going to go heavy, right? 16, I'm going to do the third one. And my fourth and final, which I already did, and I did lower, I bought in the 15s. And my last part, the last quarter of my investment is going to go hopefully between $14 and $12. This is the sweet spot. I already know the amount of money that I'm going to be putting in. I already have deployed some capital, and I'm just going to stick to wait for those numbers to hit. If they, one more time, if this remains here and doesn't go down anymore and just like goes up, I'm done. That's plenty on the 15,000 that I already got in, because that's 3/4 of $20,000. I'm good. I'm good. And what am I expecting from Lucid? I'm expecting it to just rally to $180 now, which would be $18 from back then. In 8 years. That's all I'm waiting for. And the only reason why I'm buying this, when I'm telling you guys that the market's going to go take a massive shit, right, is because Lucid is on its own right now. It's not following the pattern of Tesla. It's not following the pattern of Rivian. It's creating a divergence in prices, right? So the opportunity is here, in my view. Now, like I said, it goes below 12, 13. It goes below 12. It goes to 9. It goes to 8. I'm not buying anymore, because then you're putting more money into something that you might lose. Okay? So with the bad times ahead that I see, and you know, they don't have to happen. They don't have to happen. Hopefully I'm wrong. And you know what? This Lucid thing just fucking takes off and whatnot. And then my other portfolios are going to do great. I'm still going to deploy the capital because I want to show you guys how it's done either way. But I'm not going to be chasing lower and lower and lower. That's how people lose all of their ass. You're not going to do the same. If you're going to play this, you need to be aware that this should be a very small play of your portfolio. It's high risk, high reward, and you need to be patient. It's going to be 5 to 8 years without touching it. Once I get my 10X, I'm out. I don't care how long it takes. I'm out. At that point also, I'll got to say, let's say that we get to a 10X in 2 years. Well, I'm going to look at why we got there in 2 years to 10X. And I'm going to say, is there more future to this where I can squeeze more juice out of the orange? And if the answer is yes, I'll stay. Right? And this is a dramatic case. But if the answer is no, I don't think I'm going to be able to get more. It's kind of like the buildings. You never sell a property. Well, now it's different because real estate is fucked. But you never used to sell properties before. All you did was rent them out, pool money, and buy another one. But if someone came in with an offer that you would never be able to get that amount of money on a building, and that happened to me several times, sell it and then move on, buy something else, add the value and create that same thing. And it happened and it happened. And that's why that was great. So in here, this is the first part of that portfolio that I'm unleashing in front of you guys. Well, not in front of you guys. This is not like I'm showing you my portfolio and whatnot. But this is what I'm doing. And again, I gain nothing. The only thing I have to gain is for you guys to mock me if Lucid goes to 0. So that's the only thing I have in mind right now. And I don't give a fuck. So as you guys know, I've been ridiculed before 1 billion times by all of you motherfuckers. I don't give a shit. So if this goes sour, it goes sour. I'm just giving you the warning, but I'm telling you, I'm doing this right now just so that you guys can get a feel of how you start deploying your capital, and that you'll never know when is the right time. You only buy when there's discounts. When there's a fire sale of something, that's when we buy. You don't add in on the way up unless you started from the bottom and now you're here. Sorry, Drake. I apologize. That's it. So right now, opening portfolio, 8% of it. So if you have $10,000, $800 are going to go into Lucid if you're following this method. And then you're going to wait 5 to 8 years to cash out if you don't lose all of your money. So that's all it takes. All it takes is just to grab onto your money, grab onto your balls, and say, I don't give a fuck about the noise outside. That's the only thing I'm going to do, and see what happens. Write it down so that whenever shit gets rough, you don't forget why you did it. It's very important. And that's it. I'm going to keep it short. I'm going to keep it short and simple today. I'm not going to get into details. I'm not going to go further, but that's what I'm doing with Lucid. It's a nice investment. But yeah. So there you have it. All right, my boys. Thank you so much for your attention. Hope you're having a wonderful day, and I hope you even have a better rest of your day as it goes on. Take care, motherfuckers. Wait, I thought you were nice. Fuck you.